Your gut is lying to you right now, and you probably have no idea. Every day, millions of people wake up feeling exhausted without a clear reason, deal with constant bloating after meals, struggle with brain fog that never seems to lift, and live with low-grade anxiety that they cannot explain. Doctors run the tests, everything looks fine on paper, but something still feels deeply wrong. Here is what most people are never told. The real problem is not in your blood work. It is not in your stress levels. And it is not in your genes. The problem is happening inside your gut right now, where an invisible war is being fought between good bacteria and bad bacteria, and for millions of people, the bad bacteria are winning. Scientists call this condition dysbiosis, and it is quietly driving some of the most common and frustrating health complaints of modern life. In today's video, we are going to expose exactly what is happening inside your digestive system, and more importantly, we are going to give you 7 specific foods that can actively fight back against bad bacteria, restore your microbial balance, and help you start feeling like yourself again. And make sure you stay all the way through, because the 7th food is one that almost nobody talks about, and it may be the most surprising and effective one on this entire list. Let us start with the basics, because understanding what you're actually dealing with makes the solution much more powerful. Inside your large intestine right now, there are trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and other tiny life forms, forming a complex ecosystem that scientists call the gut microbiome. When this ecosystem is balanced and diverse, it protects you. Good bacteria produce compounds that strengthen your gut lining, regulate your immune system, synthesize vitamins your body cannot make on its own, and even produce chemicals that directly affect how calm or anxious your brain feels. But when the bad bacteria start to outnumber the good ones, everything shifts. Inflammation builds. The gut lining weakens. Toxins that should be filtered out begin slipping into your bloodstream, and the ripple effects spread outward through your entire body. Bloating, fatigue, food sensitivities, mood swings, skin problems, even weight gain that does not respond to diet or exercise. All of it can trace its roots back to what is happening in your gut. The encouraging thing is that your microbiome is not fixed. It responds quickly to what you eat, and the right foods can begin to shift the balance within days. So let us get into the 7 that matter most. The first food is kefir. If you have heard of yogurt for gut health, think of kefir as yogurt's more powerful older sibling. Kefir is a fermented milk drink that contains a significantly higher concentration of diverse probiotic strains than most yogurt products on the market. While yogurt typically contains 2 to 3 bacterial strains, a quality kefir can contain up to 30 distinct strains of beneficial bacteria and yeasts working together. These live microorganisms flood into your gut and do something remarkable. They compete directly with harmful bacteria for space and nutrients, effectively crowding the bad guys out. Research has also shown that kefir contains specific bioactive compounds that have direct antimicrobial properties, meaning they can suppress the growth of known harmful bacteria like E. coli and certain strains of salmonella. If you are lactose intolerant, kefir is actually much better tolerated than regular dairy because the fermentation process breaks down most of the lactose before it ever reaches your digestive system. 1 cup of kefir a day is enough to start making a measurable difference. The second food is garlic, and this one works in a completely different way that most people do not realize. Garlic is both a prebiotic and a natural antimicrobial food, which is a rare and powerful combination. Its prebiotic fibers, particularly inulin and fructooligosaccharides, pass through your stomach and small intestine unchanged and reach the large intestine, where they become food specifically for beneficial bacteria like bifidobacterium. At the same time, garlic contains a compound called allicin, which is released when garlic is crushed or chopped, and allicin has demonstrated remarkable ability to inhibit the growth of harmful pathogens in the gut without significantly disrupting the beneficial populations. This selectivity is what makes garlic so valuable. Most antimicrobial agents, including antibiotics, cannot distinguish between good and bad bacteria. Garlic appears to work with a degree of precision that researchers are still trying to fully understand. Raw garlic delivers the most allicin, but even cooked garlic provides significant prebiotic benefits. 2 to 3 cloves a day is a simple and inexpensive habit that can meaningfully support your microbiome balance over time. The third food is sauerkraut. Fermented cabbage has been consumed for thousands of years across dozens of cultures, and modern science is now confirming that our ancestors were onto something genuinely important. Sauerkraut is made by fermenting raw cabbage with salt, a process that naturally produces an enormous population of lactobacillus bacteria, one of the most well-studied and beneficial bacterial genera in human health research. Beyond its probiotic content, sauerkraut is rich in a specific type of fiber called insoluble fiber that acts as a broom for your digestive system, physically clearing harmful bacteria and waste from your intestinal walls. It is also a source of glucosinolates, compounds found in cruciferous vegetables that have been shown to have antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory effects on the gut lining. One critical thing to note here: to get the full benefit, you need to eat unpasteurized sauerkraut, the kind found in the refrigerated section of health food stores, not the shelf-stable canned version. Heat kills the live cultures, and without those live cultures, you are just eating sour cabbage. A few tablespoons a day with your meals is all it takes. Now, if you are serious about getting your gut health under control and you want support beyond just diet, take a moment and check the link in the pinned comment below this video. There is a product there that has been specifically formulated to help restore microbial balance and address the kind of dysbiosis we have been talking about. A lot of people have found it to be an excellent complement to the dietary changes we are covering today, and it might be exactly what you need to accelerate your progress. Now let us get back to the list, because the next food is one that surprises almost everyone. The fourth food is green bananas, and more specifically, the resistant starch they contain. Most people think of bananas as a simple fruit, nothing particularly special from a gut health perspective. But here is what changes everything. When a banana is green and unripe, it is packed with a type of carbohydrate called resistant starch that behaves completely differently from regular starch. Your digestive enzymes cannot break it down. It passes through your stomach and small intestine intact and arrives in your large intestine, where it becomes one of the most potent fuels available for beneficial bacteria. When good bacteria ferment resistant starch, they produce a short-chain fatty acid called butyrate, and butyrate is arguably the most important compound for gut health that most people have never heard of. It is the primary energy source for the cells that line your colon. It reduces inflammation in the gut wall. It strengthens the intestinal barrier against harmful bacteria. And it signals to the immune system to reduce the kind of systemic inflammation that underlies so many chronic diseases. As bananas ripen and turn yellow, the resistant starch converts to regular sugar, and the gut benefits diminish. So for this particular purpose, you want them green. The fifth food is miso, and this one brings a completely different dimension to gut health that none of the other foods on this list address quite as directly. Miso is a fermented paste traditionally made from soybeans and salt with the help of a mold called koji. The long fermentation process, which can last anywhere from a few months to several years, depending on the variety, creates an incredibly dense profile of beneficial microorganisms alongside a unique set of enzymes that actively support digestion. But what makes miso particularly interesting from a gut health perspective is its role in promoting microbial diversity. Research consistently shows that the more diverse your gut microbiome is, the more resilient and protective it becomes. A diverse microbiome is better at crowding out harmful bacteria, producing protective compounds, and recovering after disruption. Miso appears to introduce bacterial strains that many Western diets are chronically missing, which makes it a powerful tool for broadening the diversity of your internal ecosystem. A small amount dissolved in warm water as a broth, not boiling water, which would kill the live cultures, is a remarkably simple way to incorporate this food daily. The sixth food is wild-caught salmon, and this is where the connection between gut health and inflammation becomes impossible to ignore. Salmon is one of the richest dietary sources of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA, and these compounds have a profound effect on the gut environment that goes far beyond their well-known cardiovascular benefits. Research has shown that omega-3 fatty acids directly alter the composition of the gut microbiome, significantly increasing the populations of beneficial bacteria while simultaneously reducing the levels of harmful inflammatory species. They achieve this partly by reducing gut inflammation itself. When the gut is in a state of chronic inflammation, it creates conditions that favor harmful pathogens and suppress beneficial bacteria. Omega-3 fatty acids interrupt this cycle by reducing the inflammatory signaling molecules that drive it. Salmon also provides high-quality protein that supports the repair of the intestinal lining, and it contains astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that protects gut cells from oxidative damage. 2 servings per week is enough to produce meaningful changes in gut microbiome composition over time. And now we arrive at the 7th food, the one that has been quietly overlooked by most people talking about gut health, but that researchers are increasingly recognizing as one of the most impactful things you can eat for your microbiome. That food is dark chocolate, specifically chocolate that is at least 70% cacao. Stay with me here, because this is not permission to eat a candy bar. This is about the specific polyphenols found in raw cacao, plant compounds that act as a remarkable prebiotic in ways that are distinct from fiber-based prebiotics. When cacao polyphenols reach the large intestine, they are fermented by specific beneficial bacterial species, including lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, that use these compounds as fuel and in doing so produce potent anti-inflammatory metabolites. At the same time, cacao polyphenols have been shown to directly inhibit the growth of certain harmful bacterial species without disturbing the beneficial ones, a level of selectivity that is genuinely unusual. Studies have also found that regular consumption of high cacao dark chocolate is associated with measurable reductions in gut inflammation markers and significant increases in microbial diversity. A small square or two of high-quality dark chocolate each day is not an indulgence. For your gut, it is medicine. So let us put the full picture together. You have 7 foods that attack the problem of gut dysbiosis from 7 different angles. Kefir floods your gut with diverse probiotic strains. Garlic feeds beneficial bacteria while suppressing harmful ones. Sauerkraut delivers live cultures and antimicrobial fiber. Green bananas fuel butyrate production and strengthen your intestinal wall. Miso expands the diversity of your microbial ecosystem. Salmon reduces the gut inflammation that allows bad bacteria to thrive, and dark chocolate polyphenols act as selective fuel for good bacteria while inhibiting the bad. You do not need to add all 7 at once. Adding even 2 or 3 consistently will begin to shift the balance in your favor. Your gut is remarkably responsive to change, and it can begin to recover far faster than most people expect when it receives the right inputs. The symptoms you have been living with, the bloating, the fatigue, the brain fog, none of that has to be permanent. And if you want to give your gut the best possible chance to recover quickly, do not forget to check the link in the pinned comment below. The product linked there is specifically designed to support the kind of microbial rebalancing we covered today, and it pairs powerfully with everything on this list. Your microbiome built the problem gradually, and with the right approach, it can rebuild the solution just as steadily. Start today, and in a few weeks, you may be surprised by just how different you feel.